Afternoon, everyone. Happy New Week and welcome here. I'm so delighted to bring you this brief conversation. The holidays are here, and parents are worried, concerned, okay, about how they can engage their children this holiday. What should they do? What should they look out for? Etc. If you're joining me here, don't forget to say something in the comments so that I know that you're here, okay? And as we get closer to the long holidays, we need to pay attention. Gone are the days where, the long holidays were just for resting, sleeping, just surfing the different channels and all that. Those days are gone. If you're not intentional about what you present to your children to watch, then you need to just expect the worst. And this is me not being an evil prophet or a prophet of doom. This is me just being sincere. Many of the times when we are analyzing the cause of addictive behavior, bad behavior, we realize that more than 90% of it were introduced during the holidays. Is worse for the long holidays, trust me. Because like I always say, free time is your teen's worst enemy. If you ever think of the major thing that is fighting your teenager, it's not the devil in black. It's the devil in free time. It's the devil in boring time, suffering time, unnamed, unplanned time. When we're growing up, we used to hear that the idle mind is the devil's workshop. It hasn't changed. Right now, it's not just the idle mind, it's idle time. The mind might even be full of different stuff, but once there is free time that is not converted. I mean, even if you're not doing anything with your time and you're thinking, you're meditating, or you're doing mindfulness activities, it's easier, it's better. So earlier on, I had put up a post where somebody was calling out one of the cartoon supposedly channel for children, toddlers, young children, and the person was saying that in those cartoons there were um homosexual kind of programs there. So these things are being brought down to that level. Your job as a parent is not to complain, it's not to whine. Look, whining and complaining doesn't change anything. Everybody has their agenda. What is your own agenda? Everybody has a strategy. What is yours? Most times as parents, we just sit laid back and we just expect that everything should fall at our our feet. You just feel like, oh, why are you guys doing this? This is not good for my children. Who cares? Who cares? No one. Everybody is doing what benefits them. People are doing these things for money. People are doing these things for fame. People are doing these things for fulfillment. What's your own strategy? I want to tell us that we must go out there and create a plan. Create a plan. When we talk about these things, some parents go like, please, these things are not that deep, they are not that hard. But when something is wrong, all of a sudden it's an emergency and everybody should stand still because you just woke up. Where have you been? Where have you been? One thing I always tell parents is that, just like I tell teenagers that one of the worst things that can happen to you is to be taken aback, is to not know that peer pressure was real, is to not know that, things are going to come at you. And it's the same thing I tell parents. Why are you acting like you don't know that the world people, let's use the word world people, are coming after your children? Recently, we saw this video that had trended before during COVID about how, some homosexuals were singing that they are coming for our children, and then people are sharing the video, and doing nothing. You're circulating something that you should already be aware of. You're circulating it, and yet you're not doing anything. Those videos are supposed to push you to action. Those videos are supposed to prepare a bulletproof, if I might use the word, something that will secure you and your family from getting hurt. But no, we circulate those videos and then we go like, oh, what is going on? Things are just happening. Oh, I pity our children. May God help them. May God help us. And then we are doing nothing. Meanwhile, we have the power to do everything to change our children's experience. Now, something we need to take note of. We need to have a media plan. At the Intentional Parents Academy, there's a resource Coach Wendy produced some time back, and it's still very valid even now. I have my copy. It's called the Family Media Plan. In that plan, you and your children, you create the plan and then introduce it to your children, so it's not something that comes as a shocker to them. The media plan saves you from fight and tussles, because you know that in your media plan, we don't do this, we don't watch this, this is what to avoid, this is what to go for. If you don't have that media plan, trust me that your children will keep either playing hide and seek, or they will keep contending with you. When you come up with things, they will go like, mommy, every day you just come up with all sort of things. Yesterday you said we could not watch this, today you say we cannot watch this. It comes as a shocker to them and they want to fight you, especially if you have teenagers, and you know what I'm saying. But with that family media plan, everybody has an understanding that as a family, we don't watch this. We don't watch this, including you, the parents. So, sorry to burst your bubbles. If you guys don't watch nude, it's not just your children. You inclusive, father, mother, no adult, auntie, uncle in your house is exempted from those rules in your family media plan. The problem is that parents will, create rules and then take themselves out, like the way in Nigeria, our law enforcement agents, our leaders, they don't obey traffic lights, but they put the traffic lights for us. Those are the things that we do that makes our children distrust us, and they feel like we are not capable, we are not efficient, we don't deserve to lead them. They don't tell you, but somewhere in their minds they just go like, you can't be trusted. Now, what are a few things that you can do? Some of them are going to sound like, Aunty Etima, where are you coming from? This is old school. Well, the choice is yours. You can decide to do these things. It might sound like old, it might sound a cake, but trust me, it is what you need. If you must help your children, remember that what your children see will last longer than even what they hear. What you're telling them versus what they are seeing. Remember that the brain loves images and color. The brain loves images and color. And those two things don't come from what you say. They come from what they see. So you might talk and talk and talk and talk. If you don't begin to set the right images before them, you're wasting your time. What can you do? Research what they should watch and present it to them. Don't wait for them to stumble on these things. Research it, check it. And in doing so, you have to understand that you cannot say that every channel for children is acceptable. No, you can no longer say so. You already see that even in children cartoons, there's sorcery and witchcraft, there's homosexuality, there's unguarded, inappropriate sexuality in these children, so-called children TV programs. So you need to ensure that you do your research well. Even if you say, for example, I want them to watch CBBS or CSS, have you checked the programs, the specific programs in that TV channel? Check it. Ask. You can ask. You can. That's a way of researching. Ask around. You know, check for reviews. Oh, this program that shows at this time, what is it about? What's the aim? Watch a few if you need to before you recommend them. What again can you do? Take out every unlimited access to these video movie programs. I would not like to call names, but you know what I'm talking about. This cable TV, the ones we pay for, not the cable ones, the other movie, unlimited movie platforms, the flixing. Your children just watch it. You pay for it, full bouquet. They watch it. You leave them and go to work, which is also something you need to consider. Once your children are on holiday, if you can, try to rearrange your schedule. If you can't, then prepare for them and their activities while you're not there. If you give your children this access, something like YouTube, so that's internet. They have wireless at home like some of us do. We have wireless at home, so your children can just press the remote. They're on YouTube, they press this one, they're on the other flixing, they check here, there's the DSTV full bouquet. It's too much. Your children can get swamped up in these things. Your children can get drowned through these platforms. So you want to check that. What else can you do? Begin to program for them, even if they need to be on this program, like you can't help it. They need to be on, there needs to be DSTV, right? Begin to program other things that they can like. There are other programs that they can learn from. Choose the series that you can watch as a family, or they can watch. It should be age appropriate, of course. It should have definite lessons. Sometimes you watch a movie and at the end of the movie you ask yourself, so what did I learn here now? What this time I've just wasted 2 hours? What did I learn? Let your children begin to think that way, that you don't just sit in front of a screen and learn nothing. Instead, something is taken away from you, because all the images that they watch sticks to their brain, sticks to their memory. Introduce things like, programs like Wild, that Wild TV that talks about geography, talks about the earth. Introduce things like biographies, self-development videos. This morning I was saying to my daughter that every day, as part of her TV content, she should watch a video from Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn is on YouTube. For me, he's the best self-development coach on this earth. And I said to her, she has a short break, a few days. Every day, take 30 minutes to watch Jim Rohn. So I've told her what to watch. If I leave her, there is a tendency that she'll just pick fun things, pick fashion things, pick entertainment, and that's it. So you can help them, especially for those, I'm talking about those that have teenagers now. Teach, guide them. I told her that she should also watch a do-it-yourself video. How to learn this, how to, in our home, we're having a learn to cook-a-thon. We're learning, we're beefing up our cooking skill. We want to learn more things. We want to learn more things. We know how to cook 5 types of rice. Why can't we know 20 types? So it's a challenge that we're all going, to do this holiday. And we're learning to do things that we have never eaten. We can watch it on YouTube instead of going to YouTube and watching these their skits that don't have any. It's just crazy. If you have younger children, they can learn how to do some crafts on YouTube. They need your guidance to help them. Don't just give them these things and go. These do it yourself videos are such a blessing. Even on the cable TV, you can find programs. Remember that TV time should be programmed. It shouldn't just be you don't have what to do, come on, sit in front of the TV. No, there should be time for TV, 10 to 12, and in that 2 hours you have already taken 1 hour to watch this, 45 minutes to watch this, 30 minutes to watch this, 30 minutes to watch this. Before you know what is happening, they don't really have time to just watch any kind of cartoon or movie that does not have a head or a tail. And even if they must watch movies, you know the movie that they are watching. I have a long list. I gathered it, I researched them, spoke to some teenagers, checked some out online. I have a long list. So they will follow that list. Some of them they have watched, take the ones you've watched, let's find other ones. It's becoming increasingly difficult actually to find movies that are non-sexual. It's becoming increasing. Even the religious movies still have an undertone of sexuality, you know the kind of sexuality I mean, and negative content. Negative content. That's the truth. So we even need to find other things that we can do to replace TV time. That's the truth. Somebody's asking for my list. Okay, I'll share my list in my community. So if you're on one of my communities, maybe on WhatsApp, my community though, those coming for the boot camp, of course, you know, they'll be the first, girls hub, they'll be the next, the global teen conference, just my communities, because it's something that is personal to me, but I will share it with parents that are intentional, parents that will watch as I share, not the ones that will just say, okay, we have heard and dump it somewhere. I would share it with those that are committed to actually following through with it. Having said that, I want to remind you that the Teens Mentoring Bootcamp is only 36 days away. And whether you're in Abuja, Lagos, or Port Harcourt, or anywhere in the world, you can join us online. But Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt will be live on camp. Teenagers, preteens, ages 10 and above can join us or should join us. Some of these things we say to parents, we get the opportunity to talk to the children themselves on camp. And so it doesn't sound like you hate them or you just want to punish them. And you know what I mean. Okay, so registration details are scrolling and then they would be on these platforms. The team will share them with you. But the first thing you need to do actually is to join us at the info room. At the info room, you get a chance to seal your slots. Remember, we're taking just 100 slots per zone. So even on the online family, online crew, you need to also seal your slots because from 1st of July, which is Saturday, we are reviewing the price. You all know what is happening in Nigeria. We are reviewing the price, but you can seal your slot so you pay at the existing price. Thank you so much, and don't worry. Yes, Veronica, you are welcome. I'm very generous. I'm going to share that list with you all, especially those that have teens. I don't have a list for preteens because my children are teenagers. So it's what I have that I will give on to you. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be here to take any questions if you have. Just go to the comment section and do that. And see you tomorrow.